Hi, I'm Rick Gregory, owner of the Chicken Coop Country Diner in Corolla, and recently the new owner of Owen's Restaurant here in Nags Head on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I like being in the trenches, you know? I like being online. I'm a working man, that's what I do. I started out with nothing. You know, I've always lived my life. I don't have all I want, but I have all I need. So I grew up in church my whole life, baptized when I was about 10 years old. But after graduating high school, going off to college, it escaped me, or I escaped it. I've never not believed, but to practice it, that's what left. Which brings me to the next step in my spiritual journey. I started going to church for my mom to support her. And then all of a sudden COVID happened, and we were like, oh, wow, okay, churches are closed down. All right, everything's closed down. As a chef, we were furloughed, and Erica looked at me and said, what do you want to do? I said, you know what? The Corolla area doesn't have a diner. Let's open a diner. Comfort food's what people need right now. And that's what we did. We opened the Chicken Coop Country Diner, and people went crazy. We had no idea that we'd be received like that up there. In that group of people that received us well were the people from the Corolla Chapel, one of which being Pastor Jim and his wife Candy, and they started coming in. And now that we're back in church, I'm talking to Erica, and I said, you know, I feel like I'm being called to do something more. Maybe we can do a men's breakfast group or something. I can maybe start a group where we're just an open forum. We can talk to people about different things and get individual opinions and ideas. And she said, well, you know what, Jim and Dan, they all eat here. Why don't you go talk to them? Dan, one of the lead guys at the chapel, he came in and asked him if he thought that would be something that they would be interested in doing. And he said, you know what, interesting enough, there's a guy that just got in town and his ministry is men's ministry. I said, oh, wow, I'd like to meet him. The very next morning, here comes Travis Albanicius and Dan sitting down, eating at the Chicken Coop. And that was our first introduction. So all of a sudden, here I am sitting here, and Travis says, hey man, let's do this. I'm looking for a place to have a men's group. So we sat down and we talked about it. And my thought process on it was, let's do it at the Chicken Coop. You know, the people that we're trying to reach might be intimidated by going to a church or a chapel or this or that. But if we offer free food in a casual dining environment, they'll come. And hopefully they'll leave with something. That men's group, you know, those are the things I need. That Monday night, oh man, a hard day at work. Oh man, I wish I could just go home. But all of a sudden you guys show up and I'm like, oh, cool, all right. And I think the 5 F's really hit, except the fitness. That's the hardest one for me.
And at the end of it, he had things to talk about. He had life in him. He was excited again about things. Since he started this journey, you can really tell, like, yeah, he's a part of something bigger than himself.
One of the most significant things about Men of Iron was when we sat down for the mentorship. It's like, wow, wait a minute. There's a different outlook here. You know, you can go to base camp and that's great. But if you want to walk, if you want to truly know, you got to step out of that camp. You got to start climbing the mountain. Only way to reach the summit, right? The funniest thing is, and you can, if you talk to my wife, I never cried in my life until I met you guys. And now I just get filled up. I don't know why.